Meanwhile, further upstream from the herbaceous planting, as it were, on the highland, we plan to have a heather garden. And we've got the very man here from Speyside Heather Centre, David Lambie, to help us with it. Hello, David.
Hi,
welcome
Jim.
back.
How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Now, what do you think of this as a site for a heather garden?
Well, as I say, I'm not just saying it to be polite. It's a good site. It's south-facing, and there are no overhanging trees, which is a good thing.
Well, that's a point. We often get asked that one. With people in urban areas, they can't always control how many trees there are around them, and they want to grow a few heathers. What's the pros and cons?
Well, I think if there's light canopy trees like silver birch and such like, some of the types will do. But in general terms, if you think about where all the heathers are growing in their natural habitat, wide open spaces, and that's quite important, I think.
Okay.
You know?
Now to the plan. You've got a plan for the whole area, which is well, I would say it's quite a big heather garden, but it doesn't faze you at all, does it?
Oh no, I mean it's going to be nice. Of that I'm sure. It's just I think it's got to be simple. We've already got the rock work here beside the water, and I've kept it to natural stone material wandering round the back of the pool here. And it's nice natural stepping stones, we'll change levels a wee bit as well with some rock work.
I'm very pleased to see that we're being environmentally friendly, because you haven't got peat featured anywhere, peat walls, peat banks and anything. You're using stone. How do we keep the soil acid?
Well, there are other composts, fortunately, Jim, that we can incorporate to keep the soil acid. There are, pine needles, pulverised bark, coconut fibre. There's lots of different, and vegetable residues, all composts that now can be incorporated instead of using peat.
One of the great features of the heather garden is, of course, that it can be an all-the-year-round attraction with flower and foliage. How many varieties do you reckon we could get in here?
Well, I reckon we can probably get about 50 varieties in here, Jim. The planting plan will show that. There's about 50 varieties that will take us right through the season.
Great.
With a bit of luck, and there's some of them here.
Splendid. Yeah, we're talking about associated plants, of course, the wee conifers, and then we brought one from the Beechgrove as well, a big one.
That's right, we've planted juniper sulphur spray there, but you'll see even from the range of foliage colour in the conifers, they're pretty good as well.
We'll have a wee word about the tinctures that you've planted in between later, will we? But let's get on to the heathers, actually. And there is an astonishing range here, even in this small group.
This is Erica carnea.
Yeah, this type.
So these are the spring flowering groups, and you know, in general terms, you get a nice flower colour range, but also nice foliage colour.
That looks fresher, as if it's going to last longer.
It's Erica darliensis, and that will take us between the spring flowering and the early summer flowering groups.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And then, of course, the other bonus at this time is we've got these incredible foliage colours. Yeah,
I mean, that's obviously a bonus with heathers. We've got about 3 million acres of heather in the Central Highlands of Scotland. And that has given rise to lots of different foliage varieties and different flowering colour varieties.
Great value for money, because as we say, here we have, that is foliage colour. That one, and that lovely little pink tip there.
Yeah, and your gold foliage, silver foliage, and the lovely cream tips.
Very
one called spring cream.
And of course, they're all going to flower later.
These will all be flowering roughly between August, September, maybe even into October, you know.
And this kind of collection, do you carry this around with you all the time?
Of course.
well, I mean,
I just thought it might be quite interesting for you to have a wee look at.
The basket.
This is a cracking old tatty basket.
Made from?
Rank heather stems.
Good gracious.
And then we have a piece of heather rope. We go back to 2000 BC. It was found in Scarabray in Orkney. A piece of heather rope woven from heather
It was really
stems.
a very important part of the economy of the times, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, this besom, of course, would be perfectly usable today.
Absolutely, yeah. And a heather doormat. You get them in different patterns. I've seen circular ones as well. And we go to a hot scrubber and tincture.
Oh, the wee 2 or 3 drops to be taken between meals, eh?
It's used medicinally as well.
I'm glad you brought some sustenance with you. That's
heather wine, heather ale. What a plant, eh?
This is going to be a revelation by the time we finish.
That should be nice. It better be nice, eh?
Good, David.
Thank you.